Right now, Kendrick Lamar is sitting on the throne of hip-hop, but the question everyone's asking is, what's he planning next to keep it? Is he about to drop a bombshell that'll shake the game again? Maybe new music, maybe a reunion that fans have been begging for since the early 2010s? If you've been following the noise around Kendrick in 2025, you know something big is brewing. From a chart-topping album to Super Bowl drama, from cryptic hints about his old crew to brand deals that have people talking, Kendrick's moves are keeping everyone on edge. Let's dive into the wild ride that's been Kendrick Lamar's last few months and figure out what he's got up his sleeve. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming. Let's start with the moment that caught everyone off guard. On November 22, 2024, Kendrick Lamar dropped GNX, his sixth studio album, out of nowhere. No hype, no lead singles, just a 1-minute teaser on YouTube and Instagram, and boom, 30 minutes later, the album hit every platform. This wasn't just a flex, it was a statement. Kendrick didn't need months of rollout to dominate. GNX debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, moving 319,000 album-equivalent units in its first week, with nearly 380 million streams. That's the biggest streaming week for any hip-hop album in 2024. All 12 tracks crashed the Billboard Hot 100, taking over the top 5 spots, a feat only a handful of artists like the Beatles and Drake have ever pulled off. Critics couldn't stop raving, giving it an 87 out of 100 on Metacritic, calling it a love letter to West Coast hip-hop and a victory lap after Kendrick's wild 2024. Tracks like Squabble Up, TV Off, and Luther with SZA became instant anthems, blending gritty Compton vibes with slick production from heavyweights like Jack Antonoff and Soundwave. But what made GNX hit so hard wasn't just the music. It was Kendrick saying, "I'm free." This was his first album without Top Dog Entertainment, released through his own PG Lang label. He wasn't just making songs, he was building an empire. And that's only the beginning of the story. But not everyone was cheering. Kendrick's next big moment stirred up some serious heat. On February 9, 2025, he took the stage at Super Bowl LAX in New Orleans, headlining the halftime show with a set list packed with GNX bangers like Luther, Peekaboo, and TV Off. The performance was electric, a celebration of West Coast pride with Kendrick commanding a massive stage in front of millions. But the choice of Kendrick over Lil Wayne, a New Orleans legend, had fans and artists fuming. Wayne himself didn't hide his disappointment, saying he felt overlooked for his hometown's biggest stage. The backlash hit Kendrick hard, with some calling it a snub that disrespected Wayne's legacy. Kendrick didn't stay quiet, though. On GNX's opening track, Waxed Out Murals, he addressed the controversy head-on, rapping, "I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down." It was a rare moment of vulnerability from Kendrick, admitting the weight of the criticism while standing firm in his grind. He even threw in a nod to his roots, saying, "Used to bump the Carter 3, I held my Raleigh chain proud." The Super Bowl drama split hip-hop fans. Some saw Kendrick as the rightful king, others felt he'd stepped on a legend to get there. And just when you thought the dust might settle, another shadow loomed over Kendrick's victory. That shadow? Drake. You can't talk about Kendrick in 2024 or 2025 without mentioning the feud that set the rap world on fire. Last year, Kendrick and Drake went toe-to-toe in one of the most intense beefs in hip-hop history, trading diss tracks that had everyone picking sides. Kendrick's Not Like Us was the knockout punch, a West Coast banger that broke Spotify records as the most streamed hip-hop song in a single day. It nabbed 5 Grammy nominations for 2025, including Song of the Year, and cemented Kendrick as the people's champ. Drake's shots, like The Heart Part 6, didn't land as hard. Fans trashed it, and he even pulled the promo post from Instagram. By the time GNX dropped, Kendrick was basking in the win, but he wasn't done throwing jabs. On GNX's Heart Paint 6, he reclaimed his iconic Heart series, turning Drake's diss title into a reflective ode to his Top Dog days. Lines like, "I jog my memory, knowing Black Hippie didn't work 'cause of me," hit deep, but they also felt like a subtle dig at Drake's attempts to hijack his legacy. The track's smooth SWV sample and Kendrick's introspective bars showed he didn't need to scream to prove he'd won. Still, the feud's aftermath lingers. Some of Drake's camp and even artists featured on GNX have been accused of taking shots at Kendrick, trying to downplay his success. Posts on X in April 2025 hint at ongoing tension, with fans speculating that Kendrick's next move might address the haters directly. But there's something even bigger brewing that could eclipse all of this. Let's talk about Black Hippy, the supergroup that never quite got its due. For those who don't know, Black Hippy was Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Ab-Soul, and J-Rock, 4 Compton MCs who signed to Top Dog Entertainment in the late 2000s. They were supposed to be hip-hop's next dynasty, blending Kendrick's poetic genius, Q's raw energy, Soul's metaphysical bars, and Rock's street storytelling. They dropped classic verses on tracks like Black Lip Bastard and UOE&O, but a full Black Hippy album never materialized. Why? Creative differences, egos, and Kendrick's skyrocketing fame pulled them apart. On GNX's Heart, Turn 6, Kendrick owns up to it, rapping, "I guess my motivation was the yearning for independence. Black Hippy didn't work 'cause of me." It's a gut punch of honesty, admitting he chased his own vision while his brothers took a back seat. The track paints a vivid picture of TDE's early days, freestyling in Dave Free's Champagne Acura, dreaming of getting J-Rock a deal. But it also carries regret, a longing for what could have been. Black Hippy wasn't just a group, it was a movement, a symbol of Compton's raw talent taking over the game. Their 2014 hiatus left fans heartbroken, and for years it seemed like the dream was dead. But something's changed, and it's got everyone talking. The rumors started small but grew loud. In June 2024, Kendrick brought Schoolboy Q, Ab-Soul, and J-Rock out for a surprise reunion at his pop-out concert in LA. The crowd lost it as the 4 MCs performed together for the first time in nearly a decade. It wasn't just nostalgia, it felt like a spark. Then, in early 2025, Ab-Soul dropped a cryptic post on X. "The gods are back. Be afraid." DJ Head, a West Coast insider close to Kendrick's camp, quoted it with eyes emojis, signaling he knew something. Fans went wild, connecting the dots to a snippet Kendrick performed on tour, a track dubbed Tiramisu that's yet to be released. The snippet's lyrics name-drop Q, Soul, and Rock, hinting at a bigger collaboration. Posts on X from April 2025, like one from Wilson Russell, claim a GNX Deluxe edition is coming, with Tiramisu as the centerpiece. Others speculate it's not just a deluxe, but a full Black Hippy project the album fans have waited over a decade for. The timing feels right. Kendrick's at the peak of his powers, fresh off GNX and the Super Bowl, with the Grand National Tour with SZA kicking off April 19th, 2025. A Black Hippy reunion wouldn't just be music. It'd be a cultural reset, proving Kendrick's loyalty to his day one crew, while silencing critics who say he's left Compton behind. But there's another side to Kendrick's story that's got people divided. Kendrick's not just making music, he's making moves that no rappers made before. In 2024, he became the first artist to star in a Gatorade commercial, not just endorsing but embodying the brand's iconic sweat. Then he signed on as an ambassador for Chanel, walking runways and repping high fashion in a way hip-hop's never seen. These deals are historic, putting Kendrick in spaces where rappers rarely tread. His Pigalang company is behind it all, a multilingual, at-service brand that's as much about culture as it is about music. But not everyone's impressed. Some fans and critics say Kendrick's gone Hollywood, trading his Compton roots for corporate checks. On X, you'll find posts calling him a sellout, accusing him of chasing clout over bars. Others defend him, arguing he's elevating hip-hop's influence, showing the world a rapper can dominate fashion and advertising without losing his edge. GNX itself is proof. He's still spitting fire, still repping LA with features from local MCs like Peso and Hida J3. The Chanel and Gatorade moves aren't about abandoning hip-hop, they're about expanding its reach. Still, the debate rages. Is Kendrick building a legacy, or is he risking the authenticity that made him king? And that question leads us to the biggest one of all. What's Kendrick Lamar got planned next? The clues are everywhere, but the answer's still a mystery. Let's break it down. Option 1, a GNX Deluxe Edition. Fans on X are buzzing about a potential drop, possibly including the tiramisu snippet that's got everyone hyped. The track's references to Schoolboy Q, Ab-Soul, and J-Rock suggest it could be a black hippie reunion in song form, a single that'd send shockwaves through the game. Option 2, a full black hippie album. Kendrick's reflections on GNX and the pop-out reunion show he's thinking about his old crew. Ab-Soul's cryptic posts and DJ Head's hints make it feel like something's in the works. A black hippie. Project Now, with Kendrick at his peak, would be monumental, not just for fans, but for hip-hop history. Option 3, more solo work. Kendrick's Grand National Tour with SCA runs from April to August 2025, and he's got 7 Grammy nominations to chase in February. He might drop new solo tracks to keep the momentum going, especially with a rumored movie project in the works. Whatever he chooses, Kendrick's next move is about more than music. It's about proving he's still the heart of hip-hop, no matter how big his empire gets. The haters, the doubters, the crashers trying to tear him down, they're all watching. And Kendrick? He's got something to say. So here we are, at the edge of what could be Kendrick Lamar's biggest moment yet. GNX showed he's untouchable, a rapper who can drop a classic with no warning and still run the charts. The Super Bowl drama proved he's not afraid to face the heat, even when it comes from legends like Lil Wayne. The Drake feud cemented his crown, but it's the black, hippie rumors that have fans holding their breath. Imagine it. Kendrick, Q, Soul, and Rock back in the studio, crafting the album that never was. It'd be more than music. It'd be a middle finger to everyone who said Kendrick forgot where he came from. As he and SCA hit stadiums for the Grand National Tour, as posts on X keep teasing tiramisu and beyond, one thing's clear. Kendrick Lamar's not done shaking things up. So what do you think? Is a black hippie reunion really happening? Or is Kendrick about to surprise us with something else entirely? Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep our eyes on Compton's King. Because whatever's next, it's gonna change the game.